All right, looks like we are good to go. Welcome to Fireside Chat number 164. Sorry for the delay, 1 hour delay on that. And let's see. So, last Fireside would have been August 5th. And I did mention I had a new treatise on the White Knights of Fastipity. And leading from that, been a lot of stuff I'm working on. I think we'll start with the Book of Names has been finally updated. That's been something that really has been on my to-do list for a long time. So that is now up to date. Basically, if you're not familiar with the Book of Names, it's basically anybody who picks a Norse name and reaches the rank of Marine or higher in this era is basically that Norse name, and their family name is recorded in the Book of Names. It's under the library category. I also linked it in announcements as well. So, and you can just kind of take a look there to kind of get a good idea. It just kind of is a decorative thing, and basically it's an honor for members. I also do have, of course, the Saints and Honor in there, and as well, just notable former or kind of retired members that one way or another earned a spot there. For example, former knights, I put a lot of them in there, former earls, just significant officers and leaders throughout WA's history. Put a number of them in there, provided they had chosen a Norse name. So, for example, Takaru or Bahamut, there's some examples of some old members, maybe people might know, maybe not, who were very significant in WA history, but because they don't have a Norse name, I didn't put them in there. Maybe that's something that will change at some point down the road, but for the time being, the only exceptions I made for that were for Einarjar, and I think just that. I don't think anything else. Let me take a look. Just briefly seeing if there's another exception I'm missing. Yeah, I think just some Saints and Einarjar who don't have like typical Norse names because the rules were different, you know, going back say 15 years ago or even further. Some of them may have had Norse names they didn't necessarily go by, so a lot of interesting stuff there. But at the very top of that channel, there's the GIF version, which does it's animation. It's a movie basically, so it just goes through all the pages. But you can also just scroll down the channel and view all the pages individually. It's not in too much of a particular order. It does start with Einarjar, who are officers now. Or who were officers when I initially started this Book of Names, and then going into Saints, and then going into other officers in the clan who were not Einarjar, and then going into all Einarjar, and then going through all of the active members of the clan right now, proceeding downward in rank from highest to lowest. And then completing with just a lot of older members that I chose to put in there just based on, like I said, knights, earls, past accomplishments, etc. That said, there are some members who are Marine or higher who are not in there because you only have to have a Norse name if you are a Master Chief Petty Officer or higher. So there are members who are Marine or higher who have not chosen a Norse name or do not have a Norse name that is like fits the requirements for a Norse name, like the standard two Old Norse words name. So if you want to be put in it, all you have to do is be Marine or higher or reach that point, and then let me know. I'll try to like just pay attention to it. Officers are supposed to let me know if they promote people to that. Should be fairly easy, but if you want to just send me a message to make sure you get put in there, I don't mind that at all. And yeah, so that is basically all caught up with the Book of Names. And then in addition, most of my other work has been focused on lore and history. So I did make a number of updates. If you look in the Dane Edda, the New Edda, and Vesborger's archives, which contains the New Edda and the Dane Edda on the forums. So those basically have I made some small updates to it. For example, the Saga of the Sundering just beginning. I've written part of a chapter, not a lot, unfortunately. But that said, I made a few slight changes, like, for example, Saga of the Stone Stars. I updated the year because I think the year was just not quite accurate with the actual corresponding real life thing. If you're not familiar with that, there's information in the new Edda on how the year system works in lore. Essentially, 1 year of real time is 10 years in the lore. So, and it's calculated with its Iser reckoning. So basically, year year one, for example, let's say June 1st 2001 is when the time starts, essentially. So that means that that's the day the clan was founded. So that means June 1st 2002 would be year one, basically. And then you also break it down. There's also months and days, so on and so forth. I won't get into further detail than that. Just check out the thread. Scribe's Guide to Isera is what you're looking for. It's on the forums. It's also on Discord now, which is what I'm leading into, is that I've put all of the Day and Edda and the New Edda and Vesperga's archives on Discord, which is nice. Now it's much easier to access. I've gotten some messages from people who have been reading that, which I'm really happy to hear. So hopefully that will make things easier for people just to read. Maybe give some people something to read if they're bored. We're working on more specific officer training as well, and I want to incorporate that a little bit. So I think the fact that if we ask people to read something from WA's history, it's now even more accessible. They don't even have to worry about the forums. I mean, it's kind of sad to take away one of the few reasons that the forums have for being used, but on the other hand, they just aren't being used no matter what. So I'm not going to get rid of them or anything. I think they're really important, but I think it's better. The pros outweigh the cons in terms of copying all of the lore and history to Discord as well. So all of that is up. That's all under library. There's 3 different channels there, and each one is using the new threads feature. Basically, each one of the documents is a thread, and there's a lot of cool stuff in there. It's not just necessarily lore. There's also actual historical documents. There's stuff like from the old Knight Orders, for example, information on that, information on the various houses and some of their history. There's also information on past lineage charts and coat of arms. Basically, there's 2 threads that just combine, or they kind of gather all the coat of arms and lineage charts I could find. They're not necessarily exhaustive, but they're pretty good collections. And I'm always looking to add to them too. If you uncover something somewhere that I missed, a new coat of arms or something that is not on there, I'd have to add that. So yeah, I hope people enjoy that. And that aside, let's see here. I think that is probably about it. I'll go ahead and throw out a message to House Lords and Princes who have not replied to all my messages in the Council of Lords. I'm trying to compile a Houses and Families thread, which talks about every house and family that has ever existed in WA. I'll probably copy that to Discord when it's complete as well, but it is linked in About WA under Houses and Families, and it's on the forums in the Monolith. So I want to complete that. It's pretty close. And frankly, I could probably do it all myself, but one of the duties of Houses and Lords is this exact type of thing, to try to maintain information about your house and its current and past families. So even if you don't have an answer, at least reply to me, please, and try to assist as best you can. And also the officers. So I was kind of discussing, I can't remember how much I said in the previous Fireside, but we were kind of talking about some ways to improve maybe how officer duties are done. I think it's, at the end of the day, it's basically going to stay pretty similar. I just kind of took an inventory of which duties and who wants to do what, and we might be reassigning 1 or 2 things, moving some stuff around, but I think that's about it. A couple of changes would be, like I said previously, the officer manual. I want to complete that. So we have a very specific method of training officers that is easy to follow. And also requiring all officers to R and U all announcements, meaning react with the read and understood emoji, which I have seen coming in. So thank you to everybody doing that. And yeah, make sure to read over the officer manual. Any officers, it's in the all thing. I would like to get more ideas on that, ideally. I mean, as with a lot of stuff, I can always just do it all myself and just write it up. But I think generally we will have a better product if other people at least read it over, even if it's something simple you spot like a grammatical error or you just have some vague general suggestion for it. That never hurts. We've not been getting a lot of comments on that, unfortunately, but shout out to the people that have. And if you have read it and you just didn't have any comments, that's fine. But also, I think if you do that, I would say just let me know, just so I know you at least took a look at it, even if you just thought, "No, I can't think of anything." It's just nice to know that people at least are invested enough to take a look at that. I think that should about do it as far as I can think. Unless there's something else that I'm not remembering. Give me just a second to read through here and see if there's anything else. Well, I am looking possibly for help with more job board stuff, so be sure to check that out again under library. I've been working through some of that stuff. It's essentially my to-do list, but there's a few things I want to get done. Again, a lot of it is house-based, so if you want to assist with your house, talk to your lord or prince, and they also should be talking to me and trying to get some of this stuff done. I know, of course, I'm doing the house dippity stuff, and I think House Commander has pretty well got all this stuff figured out. And some of this is not necessarily like visual guides to each house's traditions and culture. I don't know if that's something we'll wind up doing or not. I think that's more of an idea. We'll see, but I would like to do lineage chart updates for every house. Some houses like Warden do not have a lineage chart that's ever been made, to my knowledge, and then I think Dane and Kilroy definitely could use an update. I'm aware these houses are very small. I think with that in mind, you could either just make a small lineage chart or make a lineage chart that just incorporates, whatever past saints and heroes are important to your house. Or you could also include reservists. I have no problems with that. That's really up to each house lord. I think for House Dippity, I probably won't do that. I might incorporate probably will list Saints and INR, I think, on this one, but I don't think we'll list all reservists. We'll see. That said, I'm going to go ahead and sign off here and be back for office hours in a little while.